But that is Kyle Bradish, and I think he's still back there. Kyle.
Hey guys.
Hey Kyle, welcome to the show. Yeah, give him a round of applause. There he is. There he is.
Thanks guys. Thanks for having me on.
Hey, anytime. You're a good kid, Kyle. So they get pissed at me for saying that, by the way. I'll call Brad a good kid quite a lot. It's not a bad thing. It's endearing.
It's a good kid.
That's your thing.
So I gotta ask, like, my name is Brad. So now it's gonna get real confusing because you call him Brad. So it's like Bradish, kind of like sort of Brad, but not quite Brad. Just trying to figure out.
It's kind of Brad. I don't know if you look at my Instagram. That's the handle right there. It's kind of Brad.
Kind of Brad.
Oh, there you go.
Kind of Brad, indeed. Yeah, sometimes, or you just yell Kyle. Either or, but glad we finally could. Yeah, I told you I'd leave you alone during the season because a lot was going on there, but I don't feel bad bothering you now. And we're relaxing, and I'm a little mad because I know you're breaking Bradish in my own area.
Yeah.
Can you explain that? Can you show us that real quick?
Here we go. There's the can. Let's see if we can get on camera.
That's so dope.
Shout out Mobtown.
So that's Mobtown Brewery here in Baltimore, and Correct. I know exactly where it is. Incredible. Okay, so how'd this come about? Can we get a little backstory here?
Yeah. So actually, Brian Baker, he kind of put me on it. They made a beer for him earlier in the year. And I was like, you know what, that would be a pretty cool thing. I like beer. So
yes,
we got in touch with them, and they said that they would love to do it. So it was fun. It's a New England IPA. So a little citrusy, not too bad on the hops. Yeah, it was fun. Went over there, did a signing. They dropped kind of their first drop of the beer, had it on tap. 2-hour signing over there on, I think it was Wednesday before the playoffs, kind of when we had that week off.
Well, hey, thanks for the invite, by the way. Could have come over there and gladly celebrated the Breaking Bradish, but I'll forgive you for that. We can have some of my tequila down the road here. Yeah. But so for people's backstories with you and I, we were teammates back in 2021 in AAA for the Tides. Go Tides. Tides. As I did mention, that was a rough year for the boys. Mm-hmm. We did try a lot, but winning was not in the cards that year. But obviously a lot of those guys and kept moving up to the big league team, and you guys seem to really have meshed. I remember I was trying to explain to this. Sorry, I just got to show Zach for a second in there.
I can't believe I was the only one who wore a costume. Tomorrow's Halloween.
Well, to be
at least Kyle brought his own beer.
Is there a hood on that?
Yeah.
Does it have ears and everything?
Yes, it has ears and everything.
Oh my, that is.
Did you think I wasn't going to have ears?
You got to keep that hood on now.
Yeah, you got to keep that hood on.
Please. Yeah, there you go.
You got to make sure there it is. It's got eyes too.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Didn't you wear this out the other night?
I don't remember a lot about wearing the costume.
Okay. Well, that can be for a different topic here. But Brad, so to get, oh gosh, wrong person. Woofs. I'm trying to control usually Brad helps me with this, Kyle. And I'll do a better job of not messing up the Brad dilemma here. But anyway, we went through a lot of the rebuild, at least at that time there. And then your debut came in 2022. Fun year, I got to say, for you to watch and for the boys. But I do understand it took a while to get to that point. So, I mean, do you mind just talking a little bit on kind of going to 2021 where it was woof, trying to figure it out, the 2022, the debut. And I know you personally, you were frustrated a little bit about, you knew that you were capable of doing a lot more, but it obviously took a little time.
Yeah, absolutely. Starting with 2021, obviously it was basically my first year with that organization. I was drafted by the Angels and traded, and then COVID happened. So had that whole thing. So I took 2021 kind of as like a showcase of what they kind of bought in that trade. So started in Bowie, was there for about 2 weeks, had some success, and they moved me up, and then went to Norfolk. That's where I met Rip.
Folktown, baby.
Yeah, and then it was kind of like that first time where I didn't have immediate success. A lot of these guys had big league time that we were playing against. So it was a big like up and down year learning about myself and how to go through that adversity. Luckily we had a great clubhouse. It was really fun. Spent many nights there till 1 or 2 a.m. just hanging out in Adam's office.
What a spot.
So yeah, it was a fun time. Not so much on the field, but just being around a good group of guys.
Yeah, can I tell a good guy Kyle story real quickly?
Oh yeah,
Is that
go on there.
possible? Yeah,
Yeah.
so because it's about you.
Yeah.
What I loved about you, well, first off, I didn't know how to read you when you came up here, because if you look at you, you might be like, well, this guy might hate everybody potentially. No offense, but when you get a chance to hang with him, you understand how laid back and what that's just your overall demeanor. You're as relaxed as they come. You're a competitor, obviously, but the good guy Kyle story, which I loved, we're talking about, is that, yeah, we would chill after games, and we were coming out of a time where we really couldn't go out or do much after games anyway, obviously post-COVID, or just, didn't need to. But what I loved is you and Dean would stay and help Adam, our clubhouse guy, put up laundry, put jerseys up. There's probably a lot of things that people don't know. And here you are at the time on the cusp of the big leagues, but you're just doing a common thing of, hey, I want to chill out and help somebody. So I thought that was awesome. I wasn't there maybe always to help out. I was there for the other extracurriculars, just to kind of be a part of the group. Mm-hmm. But I thought that was one of the coolest things. So I just wanted to give you a little pat on the back there, because it was a rough 2021 for a lot of reasons, but we created a lot of memories. And for you, though, you built off of learning through a lot in 2021. And in 2022, you had some really good moments. And what I think, if I remember correctly, talking about frustrated moments for you, it was either the pitch count would get too high or you would have a mistake pitch. And I think I remember one time seeing you at getting tacos, and you're like, man, I left one pitch over. And I'm like, well, dude, that's going to happen. And then you face Houston and just shoved it right up there. And can you – what? I mean, Brad doesn't understand some of the expressions too.
No, I understand it. It's just, I'm still a 12-year-old child when it comes to that stuff. Shoved it right up there. Thanks, Ryan.
Yeah, you're welcome.
That's what he did.
It was. Okay, so, but talk to me a little bit about how you had so much success against the defending champs in 2022. So going into 2023, was that something you knew was very close to all clicking together, or was it – I don't know what to exactly say, because there was a moment for you that I saw that it was a big learning curve. Mm-hmm. And I think, was that a frustrating part where you go, I know I can pitch with the best, but why can't I do this on a consistent basis?
Yeah, absolutely. That was the most frustrating part, apart from just like not performing for my teammates and putting the bullpen in jeopardy of going out there and throwing not even 5 innings. So, I think those first 10 starts, you look at it, and my debut, good. It was 6 innings, 2 runs. Had a few other ones sprinkled in, but it was like every outing was I'm cruising and then have a bad inning or make a mistake pitch with runners on. And instead of getting through that 5th or 6th inning, it's I'm out in the 5th, giving up 4 runs, hurting the team. So just being able to go through that. And then when I got hurt on the IL, I was really able to like look back at him. He's like, really, it's like a couple pitches away from being a good outing every time. So it's just trying to eliminate that. And then when I came back off the IL, obviously switched some things up with my mechanics strictly out of the stretch to kind of eliminate just the factors of like inconsistency, and then added the sinker. And then once I did that, it was just like full confidence in my ability of throwing this ball in the strike zone. And then I think you saw that second half, and then going into this year, obviously took the liner off my foot, my first
Nice.
Second inning, my first start. So that sent me back a couple starts, but coming back, you saw a little bit of the same thing you saw in the first half in 2022, where it's just a few pitches that got away from me, taking away from a good start to just average to below average. And then like doing my media before the playoff game, they asked me kind of, was there a turning point in the season to where you saw the ups and downs to where it was pretty consistent the rest of the year. And I said that was San Francisco. Gave up three runs in the third inning, went out for the fourth, and then I was done after the fourth. So it was kind of like a look at yourself in the mirror. It's like, you can do this. Why aren't you? So I kind of just took that mindset and I was like, no matter what, I'm going to go out there. We're shooting for a quality start, and that's going to put myself and my teammates in a better position.
Yeah. So, Kyle, so we had Brent Rooker on, what, week ago, 2 weeks ago, right?
Yeah, 2 weeks ago, Oakland A's outfielder.
And he had an incredible year too. We joked about him and Fuji for a while because they were on the same team, and had a really good conversation with him. But one of the things that I thought was really interesting that Brent talked about was the leap from the minors to the bigs. And one of the biggest things that he talked about was how, like, there's a lot of, major league talent that you face in the minor league system, but when you get to the bigs, it's like you get that every at bat throughout the entire game, right? Where, like, in the minor leagues, you kind of see that, and then you get into their bullpen or whatever, and then you're not as it's not like you're getting a starter every time you're coming up to bat. And so for you as a pitcher, what's that like from your perspective when you go from minor leagues to the big leagues? Is it much of the same, where it's just like every at bat you're kind of like you kind of feel like you're facing a big at bat versus like being down in, for Norfolk or what have you?
Yeah. Obviously it's the big leagues for a reason. So you're going to get 1 through 9. Everybody can do damage on a pitch, on a mistake pitch. And that was kind of the learning point of, you can't take a pitch off no matter where they're hitting in the lineup. Obviously you're going to have like the Aaron Judges, guys like that you are going to be a little more cautious to, especially with runners on base. But you just can't take a pitch off no matter what. You actually have to be locked in for the whatever 6 innings, 100 pitches you throw. You have to be locked in every pitch.
Cal, man.
Yeah. So Kyle, I keep looking at myself in the thing, but so Kyle Ripken has talked about this a few times with the impact that a veteran can have on this young pitching staff. So can you kind of talk about what Kyle Gibson and everything he did maybe off the field with you guys, and how that impacted your day-to-day starts and stuff?
Yeah. I mean, Gibby's a one-of-a-kind guy. He's a father of 4 kids, and you can really tell he loves being that father figure. And he was kind of that for the younger guys in our clubhouse, especially the starting pitchers. But like, apart from what he did on the field, off the field, he always trying to help us out. If you had a question or just wanted to talk to him, he'd open door policy, if you will. No matter what, he was always there to listen. He helped me a lot with how to kind of scout hitters. And then watching him in the dugout, he's always watching the game. He doesn't take a pitch off in there. He's looking to help out our hitters if he can see something, or looking at our pitchers, see if he can see something that the other team's seeing. So he's really invested to the whole aspect of the game and his teammates.
Yeah, I was trying to tell, because it's always something you can't quantify with stats, and people are going all the time, so wait a minute, Gibby's so up and down. I go, man, there's so much more to it than just the ability to go out there and dominate on a day-to-day basis. The other part is being able to get the best out of other guys. And that's why I thought Gibby was really great for you guys in that sense of helping you guys get the best out of you. And it kind of actually brought me up. Kyle, I'm going to ask you this, but I'll tell you my answer. You're going to get my answer whether you like it or not. This season, though, there's one specific start where I went, Kyle's saying, screw you, gloves are off, and then it's on. And then you were on. Do you know what start I'm talking about? Like, enough's enough. And then after that is like, oh, damn. Light switch went off with Kyle.
There's a few I have in my mind. Let's hear your answer.
Let's hear him.
Oh, okay. There was one in Tampa. There's bases loaded, nobody out, and I ended up striking out the next three guys. I think that was a big one for me personally. And there was just a few other like that. I can't name them off the top of my head.
Yeah, I put
But
you on the spot on purpose.
yeah, I look at that Tampa outing. We were up by a lot, I think, or up by 6. It was 6-0 at that time. And I want to say the 5th inning, and I think I gave up a hit and then walked the next two guys. Obviously pissed off at myself. I just walked the 8 and 9 hitters. Now I got to face Yandy Diaz, Franco, and whoever was sitting third there.
That's your fault.
Yeah,
It
that's
was.
my fault. So I put myself in that position. Luckily, I was able to get out of it. But yeah, that's one of those outings that pops in my head like that.
I like it. That is one that I realized you had that bulldog mentality where it was, and I know when you get angry and you get ticked off, I can see a different level you can bring to your game and you can harness it. But the one that I specifically had in mind, it was a game in the middle of, if I have this correctly, it was in June. You were on the road. You had some weird things happen in the first inning. You actually gave up all 3 runs in the first inning. Do you know which game I'm talking about now?
Yeah, Milwaukee.
Yep. Yes. Bingo, Kyle. Because after that was a moment where you just mowed everyone down, didn't give up a run the rest of that game. And then I believe, if I did my stats right here, big stat guy, your next 7 outings, you had 2 earned runs or less. And then you only allowed 3 earned runs or more the rest of the season 3 more times. I don't even know if you knew that. You probably had no idea.
I did not know.
Hey, congrats, man. That's really good. That's
stat.
really good. That's really good.
Thank you.
So in that moment right there, because you got in the zone, I mean, did you realize you were in the zone at that point? Or was that something, because that to me was the point of the whole light switch went off. That's what I was talking about, because after that moment, you dominated in especially in the big leagues from that moment on.
Yeah, if I remember right, I think I want to say there was the outing after San Francisco too. If I'm correct.
If you are correct, that is correct.
Yeah. Okay.
Guy knows ball.
Really, guy knows ball.
How about that?
Ball.
Yeah. So I mean, those combined of taking of what I just talked about with San Francisco, and then what happened in the first inning in Milwaukee, it was like six backside, just singles through the hole. Good job. And then came out and struck out 10 that game.
That is correct. You had 10 punchies.
Yeah.
On fire.
Yeah. You could say that was a turning point of mentally just knowing what I can do, especially when I'm frustrated, because I was pissed off that game.
Yeah, I mean, yes, you were. Absolutely. Brad, go ahead.
Yeah. So, Kyle, I also wanted to ask about, the playoffs. Obviously, well, I mean, Ryan and I had talked about it at length. We'd started this show back in July. We kind of talked about how we saw things developing, and that, if the Orioles got to the, to the playoffs, it would have been the 6th time in 40 years that actually happened. And so, obviously, with it being your first time in the playoffs in general, like, what was that like? Was it, obviously you struck out 5 of 6 batters, so you had a day, but was there any sort of like nerves? Was and we actually had Gavin Sheets. We talked to him, and he's like, anybody who tells you that it's not, it's just like any other game is lying. That's bullshit. Like, so
don't you give the answer that yep, just another day, we're going out there. Don't you do it, Kyle.
Right. So so what was it like for you? Was it a surreal moment? Was it just you were just trying to chill? What was it like for you in that moment?
I mean, yeah, surreal. The atmosphere was amazing. That whole week leading up, going in the field to do our workouts and everything, like every time I got to the field, I was just thinking in the back of my mind, like, I can't wait or can't imagine to see this place come Saturday afternoon, and then started getting nervous there whenever I was at the ballpark for those few days before, and then night before, I don't sleep great, regardless of what the game is. But that night was definitely different. Try not to think about it too much. Try to get some sleep, because we did have an early game. And then when I showed up, it was kind of business as usual in the morning. And when I started getting ready, the nerves set in, and then it just like heightened every time I started like kind of going through my checklist on my game day. And then we had the rain delay.
Fun.
And I was sitting for another hour just stewing in my mind.
Yeah, what
just
were you
thinking.
doing for that hour?
What
were you stewing?
I had just gotten my like leg stretched by Mark Shires, one of our trainers, and they came in and said, "Hey, we're in a delay. Don't know when we're starting yet." So then kind of pushed back everything else. So then I was trying to stay locked in, but I also didn't know how long it was going to be. So, that first like 20 minutes, I was still sitting with my headphones in, listening to music, just kind of pacing through the clubhouse. And then they were like, "We're probably not going to start till whatever it was, 2:45, something like that."
Yeah.
So we still had like another hour. So I was like, all right. So I tried to hang out, but I was basically just walking the halls of the clubhouse for about an hour and a half. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, couldn't really sit down. I didn't want to relax and just because I was already kind of like in my pregame zone doing all my stuff, so I didn't want to kind of go back on that and have to redo everything.
You're getting your steps in, by the way. Jeez. Did you have your Lupo playlist, or were you running through the songs too much, or were you just same song over and over?
Yeah, what were you listening to during the rain delay? What was
Yeah, I have a pregame, my game day playlist that I made on Spotify. So I was just running through that and went through it. I think there's about 30 songs, so I didn't really have to listen to too many songs on repeat. But there is a couple that I have that I've repeated through because those are my kind of favorite songs at the time to get me ready.
Ryan will be really happy if you tell him there's any Creed songs on there.
There is no Creed. No Creed.
So what's on there? You don't have to give us the whole thing, but like top 2 songs. What's on Kyle Bradish's playlist?
Let me go look at it. I'll give you.
Please do. Do you want? I'll get my.
It's got a bit of everything. It's got rap, it's got some rock, some
that's my playlist
like
too.
EDM.
Yeah.
Perfect. That's just sounding like the Norfolk Tides locker or the weight room in 2021.
Yep.
To be honest.
Yep. So my top 2 songs on this playlist, "Lay Low" by TSO.
Hey.
Okay.
That's a good song. And then the one I listen to right before I go out, it's "Knife Talk" by Drake and 21 Savage.
Oh yeah, that's hype song for sure.
You mean meaning business, Kyle. I like how you do business.
Your numbers this year are really starting to make sense after I just heard that. I see how this happened.
It checks out. The numbers check out while I worked out. Kyle shoved. Oh, it checks out.
Yeah, exactly. So, Kyle, you talked a little bit about the atmosphere going into the playoff game and stuff, but I want to take you back a little bit further. What was it like over the past 2 years seeing the atmosphere at Camden Yards kind of grow with the team, and just could you feel the energy each game getting bigger and bigger as the years went on?
Yeah, from when I first came up last year, team wasn't still not in the best spot, and then you just saw like once Adley came up and a few other guys came up and we started winning more games, like obviously the fans are going to come out. So that all I had heard about in like 21 and before was like how the stands were kind of dead. But like I didn't really get to experience that just because when I came up and then everybody else like followed, like we were playing good ball, we were winning, or at least in games, to where fans wanted to come out and actually enjoy the game. So just seeing that grow to where it was the beginning of this year, opening day at Camden was electric. Obviously, it was against the Yankees, so you're gonna have a lot of Yankees fans there. And then taking that to the playoffs, it was really cool from seeing where I first came up to where it was that day.
It was an evolution. I mean, I've grown up in this city, so has Zach and Brad as well, just of being with the team or following the team. I mean, I followed the team as well for other reasons and being on a different side. But there's a lot of passion in the city, right? And to see it finally come back was awesome to see. And I know for a lot of ways maybe didn't end. Obviously, I'm saying. Obviously it didn't end the way, hey, let's get to the playoffs and lose. No one ever says that, ever. I certainly have never said that. Winning is fun. Losing sucks. And actually, a couple things, Brad. One, there's a couple questions we want you to answer. So if you have any, apparently Joe wants you to have a story about me at some point here. If you want to think of one, there's none of them because there's nothing to go there.
I find that very hard to believe.
And then there's one other question we have right now that we'll have answered at the end. But speaking of the postseason part, because I think a lot of people were probably interested with this, and I joked with Brad, and he made the Creed joke. I mean, there's something to Creed. I don't know what it is, but the Rangers hadn't lost a game on the road the whole postseason, and the Vikings actually have won 3 or 4, but then Cousins is out. That's a whole different story. But sometimes you run into a buzzsaw, and I know that it was a longest time off you guys have had all year, but can you just talk about Texas? I mean, those dudes, that lineup to me, looking at it before going to the postseason, there's no knock to any other team, but that team could get hot in an instant. And did you just felt like to me, they just looked like they oozed confidence. And even though you guys tried, obviously game 1 didn't go in the favor, but it just looked like Texas was on a serious mission.
Yeah, absolutely. They were the number 1 offense this year in the big leagues for a reason.
Pretty good. Yeah,
pretty good. But yeah, 1 through 9. I mean, you got Josh Jung hitting 8 right now, and he was a Rookie of the Year candidate before, or probably the front runner for Rookie of the Year before he got hurt. He's hit 9. Then you got Evan Carter that just came up. Just complimenting everybody else in that lineup. I mean, and Corey Seager, Garcia, those guys are just unbelievable, especially in the postseason. So yeah, running into those guys, obviously they were on a high from sweeping Tampa, because Tampa, I mean, they had a great year too. They were one of the best teams in the league all year. So going in there, sweeping them, and then you could just tell that they were very confident and kind of like on fire.
So a couple things to wrap up then, because people had such an expectation for the team to be better, but no one had the expectation for you guys to be the number 1 seed. And then you run into a team that's playing extremely hard. And people can say, well, guys, there was lack of experience, yada, yada. The fact of the matter is the 2 hottest teams in the postseason made it to the World Series. Mm-hmm. And did you guys feel this last thing? And I already know this answer, by the way, but I'm going to ask it because I'm a jackass. But it's just, I know for you guys, did you feel like there was any type of thought of a lack of confidence as you guys as a whole without having the playoff experience? Or is it just more so, like I said, for the first time all year, really, you guys had a stretch of 3 games that you really just never had for a 162 game season?
Yeah. I mean, the confidence, no, I think we're a team that does not lack confidence. And like, I can test that. Nobody in the clubhouse, regardless of the first game or losing the first 2 games at home, nobody felt like going in game 3, like, oh, this is it. Like, I know we all felt very confident going in to Texas, that we were going to win the next, whatever it was, 3 games. Obviously it didn't work out that way, but no, we never lacked confidence. I can't really speak on the experience part because, you gotta, to get experience, you have to actually do it. So everybody was at that point, or in our situation at one point. So, they just ran into a team that was on fire. That's all it is. I think you see with us, the Dodgers, the Braves, kind of the top three teams, all out after that week layoff. I think there's a little issue with taking that time off. You literally go through the 162 games, and you have the All-Star break is the longest break you have. You have a day in between sometimes. So having that week off, I think it affected everybody more so than what people actually think.
For sure. Well, hey, and that could be for a deeper dive, a different time.
Oh,
So
yes.
we want to wrap it up with you. Maybe next time when you're back in Baltimore, you can get over here. I can have a Breaking Bradish, but I think Zach has one final question here. Before I just want you to answer a couple for the audience, but Zach has one he's been dying to ask you.
Yeah. So I'm kind of going to put you on the spot here. The Orioles were talked about in a lot of ways this year, but a very underrated way, I would say, is there was some incredible flow, just some great hair on the team. So if you had to rank 1 through 3, you can hurt some feelings here. I don't, let it happen. 1 through 3, how are you ranking the flow on the Orioles?
Okay.
I can't
mean,
take you seriously.
These are the hard-hitting questions you get on the Ryan Ripken Show.
We actually did this in spring training, a little mini mic. But
Oh, look at that.
number one, I think it's pretty obvious. Going with Dean Kramer.
Incredible.
Dino, good kid, Dean.
Incredible.
Great kid. Great
Yeah.
kid, Dean.
Really good kid. Really, really good hair. It's well maintained too. It's not just like a frizzy mess either. So I'll go
He
him
does
number
he does
one.
a really good job. Really good job at maintaining.
Yeah.
This is the inside information you can't get anywhere else. This is what I'm like.
I
I mean,
2 and
Gunner's
3
got a
might
good
be a little
hair.
more difficult. I'll throw Nick Vespi on there too. The long blonde locks. Yeah. He'll be my number 2. And then for number 3, you probably go Gunner or Adley. Even maybe Cole Irvin in there with his mullet.
Oh, that's a good. I wasn't thinking that, but I like that.
Yeah.
Keeping everyone off guard.
Yeah.
There we go.
I'll say this. I'm going to show up to spring training and throw my hat in the ring.
Yeah. Oh, Brad's gonna.
As far as hair is concerned, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
We get it. We get it. You guys don't have a problem growing hair. All right. Sick. The rest of us do. Kyle, a couple quick hitters here just from some people that we thought, would be interested. Kind of similar on that one. I think I saw one that was kind of made me laugh. Which guy from the starting rotation would you trust least or trust the most with helping you escape from a deserted island?
Oh, escape from a deserted island.
Yes, questions right here.
That's a great question.
Very good. I thought it was going a different way, but deserted island.
The uncomfortable question is
Kyle?
No, I thought it was going to be like, which would you trust least to babysit your kids or something like that.
You can answer
that.
that.
That one was going to be pretty obvious.
That's on the table
But,
too. That's fine.
Yeah, deserted island. I'd have to go with Dean. He's a California city boy, and you look at the starting rotation. Wells, country boys, he's always got these gadgets with him. Then we'll go Grayson, another country guy, big hunter, so won't be lacking on food. I feel like Gibby's just good at everything he does. So, and I feel like he'll just find a way to get out of there.
Man, so Dean's a great kid, but not a guy maybe if you're stuck on the island. Can provide you with great companionship.
Yes.
That counts for a lot here. A quick question: why did you change your number to 39?
No real reason, but
No
behind
reason.
39. Besides, I've always just had a number in the 30s, and that's just it's kind of where it was. That's the number that was available for me, and I liked it.
What was your initial number?
56.
Yeah.
Nice. Oh, you should have kept it. 56 balling out there when you win the Cy Young in 2024. And I do think you keep doing your own thing, Kyle. We really appreciate it. Actually, one thing here, because I know him too. News with Chris Holt, by the way. Holt's, well, I love the guy. I know he's still going to be involved in the capacity. Do you think, just for you personally, can you talk about kind of how he's helped you in the development process? Because he was there in 2019, and I got to see him on a different side when he was the coordinator for the minor leagues.
Yeah. Holty was actually the first guy I talked to when I got traded over. He was the first real conversation and like welcoming to the organization. So that was kind of had that relationship from there. And then when he was still the pitching coordinator in 20 and 21. So I saw him at the alt site, and then we had a lot of conversations in 21 when I was in AAA, things like I kind of needed to improve on to get to the big leagues. And I think that really helped when I got there in 22, just to have that familiar face and that relationship to where I could go to if, whatever was happening, and kind of just really talk it through with him. So on that aspect of the relationship, you can't really say much about that, and then the development side, his big thing when I got traded over was like, we're not going to change what you do. We want you to do what you do and do it like all the time. So I think that helped, just knowing that they didn't have a whole big plan on how to change who I am.
Yeah, you just be Kyle. Sometimes look like you hate everyone, like I said, but nicest guy. Don't want to face him on the mound, especially when you face Houston. Hopefully that continues. I think that does it, Kyle. It kept you for a while, but appreciate you coming on. And enjoy your time. Enjoy your Breaking Bradish, which is that still available at Mobtown?
You can't buy it in cans. They might still have it on tap.
Really?
Yeah.
You have to go find out.
Yeah,
Well,
sold. All the cans sold out, I think, within 2 days.
Damn.
Yeah.
How do we feel about getting a bottle of tequila for you?
We could also do that.
Stop traffic. All right. Well, hey, Kyle, I appreciate you. I will bother you after this is done, but thank you for taking the time with us, guys. Round of applause for Kyle again.
Yeah,
real quickly.
Kyle.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, buddy.
All right,
Thank you,
Kyle.
guys.
Enjoy the rest of your Monday night. All right.
Yeah, you guys too.
All right. See ya.
See ya.
He's a great guy, and he is so quiet. It's just his demeanor. He's chill. He loves his teammates, loves the guys, loves his family. And I still like to bring that story up just for him, that he's helping in the laundry. Yeah, you're about to go to the big leagues. You got nasty stuff, and here you are just helping put away laundry. And then you're dealing with a guy like me on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah. What a guy.
What a guy. Well, hey.
That's why he's a good kid.
That's why really he's a good kid. And a pleasure. And honestly, Bradish could be a Cy Young winner next year. No doubt about it.